Well, Warner Brothers Discovery announced that it will split into two public companies by next year, halving off its cable operations from its streaming service. Let's get more with this on this subject with Ishan Majumdar. He's founder of Baptista Research. Ishan, thanks a lot for joining us. Tell us about this deal and remind us the history of this. This is basically an unwinding of a combination that was made in 2022, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And it does seem like they are following the broader industry trend after losing about 60% of their value from the time that they actually created this marriage in 2022. And I mean, Comcast just announced a very similar kind of a split in November last year, which is expected to close in mid-26. And now Warner Brothers comes out with this, especially after they announced that they were undergoing a restructuring of sorts in December. So actually, this news doesn't come as a very big surprise. I mean, but the nature of the split is quite interesting because it's not a pure streaming versus live TV split, because they have kind of kept CNN, Discovery, and some aspects of the streaming bit in the global networks business, which have some scope for growth, whereas the high value IP goes into the streaming and studios business. So it's a very interesting split the way they've executed it. But yes, it comes at a time of desperate need.
So just explain to us, you touched on it there, but just explain in basic terms what the two companies will be. Are there names for the two companies? Will they both be publicly traded? And just, you've touched on it, but just be clear again on which assets are going into which company.
So as of now, based on the information that has been made public, the live TV business is on one side, but which contains all the live sports streaming rights. It also comprises of Discovery, so Discovery Plus automatically goes on that side, which may sound a bit counterintuitive because Discovery Plus is actually a streaming business, but obviously it doesn't compete with the likes of, say, Netflix or Disney Plus, which the streaming and studios business is expected to do. Simultaneously, the entire the objective of the global networks business, that's how they've been wording it, is to basically be a cash cow that handles the debt, close to $34 billion worth of debt that was there on the company's balance sheet, and the largest chunk of this will be going on the balance sheet of the global networks business. And as that is the cash cow, well, it's a decelerating cash cow, but it's a cash cow. And they also have the freedom to use the live sports streaming rights, to use the lifestyle and use the breaking news side of business, the lifestyle side of business, to build their own revenue streams, either through small size streaming businesses, which are low cost and high volume businesses, and simultaneously also have more flexibility on whom to sell their sports streaming rights to. Like, for example, Netflix becomes a viable alternative, which was not in the past. Same way on this side, you have HBO Max and all the high-value IP of Warner Brothers. HBO Max already number 3, 102 million subscribers, hoping to go up to 150 million by 2026. And then there's the entire base of IP, which comes in the form of you have Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, DC, so the entire Warner Brothers studio. So that way, it's I think it's a brilliant way that they've split the two businesses. And it's to be seen how things move forward.
One thing that I was interested in earlier this year was that TNT lost out on the sports rights for the NBA. So they declined to renew their contract, or basically weren't the highest bidder. Does that say more about kind of sports rights in general in your experience in the industry, or is that a Warner Brothers specific issue?
I think no, but I think they're going very heavy. They have a very heavy debt load, and they might go more aggressively on the sports rights front now that the split once the split materializes. I mean, there's still a year for it to close. But yes, on the sports side of things, they are expected to go aggressively because that is expected to be something that will drive the revenues of that particular side of things. It's one of the biggest drivers over and above news, because sports is something that is not going anywhere. The traditional TV that has been heavily impacted by streaming, but sports is here to stay. That's the reason why you saw the market leader like Netflix, also going into live sports. So this is definitely a growth area for them in the future.
Are either one of these new companies attractive to investors? The company that will hold the faster-growing streaming businesses and the company that will own the legacy broadcasting outlets. Are either of them compelling options for investors right now?
And I would not initiate a very bullish stance on them right now because it's too early to comment. I would say that it's, it is to be seen how they evolve. Now, we saw a classic case study in front of us is Lionsgate, obviously much smaller player. But when Lionsgate and Starz split, today their valuation multiples have cratered. Interestingly, their broadcasting, the TV business has a higher multiple than the streaming business, which is actually counterintuitive because we would expect the streaming and the high growth line of business to trade at higher valuations. So, it's very hard to say as of today which is the better option, which might earn better returns for shareholders. So it's early days. I think we're still about a year from the deal for closing. I would say that what is more exciting on both companies, rather than looking at an investment option, would be to see what strategies they build basically on the M&A front, because now both of them have a clear and free path to pursue M&A opportunities in their domains and become true specialists in their field. So that is to be seen. That is what will decide how these companies shape up in the future.